You know, we got more information on where this market might be headed this week, I think. Inflation has not left the building. Let's move to the next slide. We had inflation reports. I still can't believe these inflation reports are moving markets, but they still seem to move markets. And CPI and PPI came in hotter than expected, which basically starting to reaffirm expectations that the Fed is in no rush to cut rates. And why should they be? The economy is great. Jobs are great. We're good. The week began with Bitcoin and gold trading at all-time highs, 70,000 and 2,200 respectively. Silver and copper up too. Have you noticed all these like metals moves? What do you think about this? I mean,
I've been trading
silver, gold, but
well, I've been trading copper and not very well. Well, shouldn't say not very. I have a copper position on. I've even already adjusted it this morning. Copper has had some big swings the last 3 days. Up big, down big, and today it's back up big. I actually have to tweak my little position.
I mean, is this kind of like a sign of market topping a little bit, where you have
copper? No.
You know, I mean, because markets are highs, all of a sudden this week markets are a little sluggish, and they go into Bitcoin, they go into gold, they go into copper, silver.
You mean sell everything type thing?
Not yet. I think sell everything that's next, right? Like once you leave.
Well, the fact that the bonds are as ugly as they are, that was my first thing, and then Bitcoin, selling off a little bit, not enough to get me really bearish.
Listen, 72 hours ago, I didn't know the symbol for copper off the top of my head. So, I mean, let's be honest here.
Well, I know. I've been trading it all year, though, so it's like a little different.
I know, but it's not something that everybody trades.
No, what he's trying to tell you is that he's always known it. You're a peasant, and you shouldn't know, I guess.
And I know my place. I've been told many times.
When you talk about bonds, I mean, same deal. Bond yields returned to the highs that we saw early. It's basically highs of the year, which we saw like third week of February. Noticeable rotation in Apple and Google this week. They've been dogs, right? Noticeable rotation in there. But, I mean, how long is this going to last? Like, this is another thing where I'm not trying to call tops. It's just a shift in the market, right? Where we were at all-time highs. All of a sudden now you're starting to see money rotate out of equities a little bit, go into these commodities, hard commodities, into these dogs, Apple and Google. I mean, it's kind of something to just keep an eye on. And then VIX and VVIX, we saw them make big moves this week, but they're still well below these long-term averages. So it's nothing to really freak out about yet, I think.
I agree. I think that this is not, we are nowhere near we can't call this thing anything yet, other than just cyclical trend. It is interesting this morning because usually pre-market,
other than a down, we can't call it anything other than a downtick.
It's a downtick, right? We can't call it anything other than a downtick. Exactly.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
Move ahead. So, I think we kind of lost June this week. I don't know. It's when we look at Fed futures forward curve.
We lost it in the short term for sure.
We lost it in the short term for sure. I mean, I showed this actually about a week ago, and June was pricing like 4.9%. Now it's at 5.22. July 5.17. SEP looks like maybe the first cut. Because so the meetings are obviously next week, May, June, July. And then SEP, and then NOVE and DEES. And I don't know if we're going to do anything in NOVE. That's 2 days after the election. So as of right now, I don't know. Three cuts are looking to be in doubt. Market's not freaking out yet, though. And
I mean, who cares? I mean, yeah, of course market's not freaking out. I mean, why should it?
Care. They do. How many times are we going to have this discussion? I said this a couple weeks ago. You guys looked at me like I had 4 eyes in my head. I really think it's important. I think these rate cuts, I think we've kind of gone up on the idea of rate cuts. You know what I mean? We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I think if June comes off the table, I think market's going to freak out, but we'll see. I think that's the thing that might bring volatility.
Okay, we'll see. I think June's already off the table almost. You get under, they can't hold this rally here. We're at 118.27. You get into kind of you get a point lower in mid 17s in the bonds. Where did we get to last time? 17 something?
Yeah, 17 something.
1724, something like that. Somewhere in that range. You get back down to that range, you're teetering.
Yeah, you're teetering.
You're a point away is what you're saying.
Yeah, you're a point away. Yeah, we are actually.
Yeah,
we are. So next week all of a sudden becomes an important data point, right? Even though they're not going to change any rates. But anyway, longest inversion in history for the 10-year and 3-month yield. Longest inversion in history so far. We're up to 506 days now, going back to October 22nd till now. So obviously it makes sense, but it's just, kind of interesting to watch given other times. Other times we're in 06, 07, right before 08. Oil, I got to give Chris this props here. Chris Vecchio, I wasn't paying that much attention to this, but oil vol was pretty low. It was about the lowest we've seen in 6 months. It looks like it's bouncing recently with this move up towards 80. So anywhere oil's next move is anybody's guess. But again, another commodity that's starting to make a move to the upside, along with gold, along with Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin's faded though. Bitcoin's under 70. This is if we close today, it's the first close under 70 in a week. If we gold, as your wheelchair friend out there just reminded me, it'll be the first time in 3 weeks if it closes down. So Josh hit me with that. I didn't even think about that, but good point. So there's a shift maybe happening, but something to keep an eye on, folks. Boeing, the saga continues, man. I mean, Southwest was down big this week. Southwest, pretty much their whole fleet is Boeing, and they were told they're getting less planes this year. Hopefully Liz and Jenny make it out today, because they might be having issues. They could get stuck. If they don't show up at dinner, well, you know why. NYCB.
Wow. They don't show up for dinner, we're canceling dinner.
What? Just make sure you have Liz's Prosecco ready to go, okay? That's what you need to make sure you do. NYCB's playing this 1 for 3. This is the
It's really
minutia.
scary that I know what everybody eats and drinks. It's like I could order for every single person here, no
Sure
problem.
you could. This is you're gonna like this. This is the Steve Mnuchin part of the show. This is NYCB plans a 1 for 3
He's
stock
buying
split.
NYCB and TikTok.
I mean, how about it, dude?
You make a lot of money being what Treasury of the Secretary, whatever.
Exactly.
Treasury Secretary. Yeah.
Stole money then too. NYCB's playing this 1 for 3 stock split after they got $1 billion cap. I mean, I guess that's the going rate to save a bank now. It would seem. And then TikTok. I mean, I know we talked about this ad nauseum on the network this week. Once again in the crosshairs. Give me your final thoughts on TikTok.
Well, I mean, I think Victor, myself, and Dylan had a really good talk on TikTok last night too, and I like Victor's argument, which is, listen, we have a lot of issues, but let's not make TikTok and social media the kind of the vocal point, or let's not make this what the issue is. Like for example, his point, which is very valid. A Chinese billionaire could come over to the U.S. right now and can buy half the state of Montana if it's for sale, acreage wise. We have no restrictions. All of a sudden, we're trying to restrict social media. It's kind of, it's not two-sided.
Well, social media can control masses. Plot of land can't.
It's not that. It's like where you want to draw the line with. Where do you want to draw the line? Is it real estate? Is it corporations? Is it, there's just so many different things. It's ridiculous to go after a social media app for kids, basically. Give me a break.
For kids.
I think this is the most ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think this is an overreach. This is political posturing. There's nothing else to it. It's like we need a bad guy. So because we're all a bunch of idiots, we need a bad guy. We realize how bad the optics are for us. So let's make TikTok the bad guy, and then everybody wins.